Hey, what's up guys, it's Apollo Uchiha here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a new short movie. The name of this short movie is What If Naruto Was the Reincarnation of Kaguya's Lost Son? And yeah guys, it is an unscripted short movie and my own idea. Now before continuing this, it is not Hagoromo or Homura. As the story will go on, you'll find out who it is. So you don't have to worry about, it being the reincarnation of Hagoromo or Homura. Anyways, moving onwards, this is a peaceful lovey-dovey story that I did long ago in the beginning of my, channel. Like, what if Naruto was loved by everyone? Remember that series? Only the OGs do. And if you haven't checked that out, please go down to my playlist, you'll find it eventually. That was my first series that I completed and wrote down by myself. It was not filled with action, but with kind of, of what if Naruto's basically life went golden. And this is basically that story. Not completely, that story is copy pasted here. It's completely different, but yeah. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you do, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And I am really thankful and grateful for your mangas as well as animes recommendation. I will start on after picking up one of them. And I'll let you guys know that I've started watching this, so you can give me the ideas regarding that anime. How about that? Do let me know in the comment section, and if you have any more suggestions, please, I'm all ears to hear them out. And yeah, I had this idea while, reading your comments surprisingly, which was not even close to this story, for some reason. Maybe I'm weird, I don't know why. Anyways, enough said. Without any further ado, let's begin with our today's short movie. Story begins long before the age of shinobi or before the existence of the elemental nation, with the arrival of Kaguya Otsutski down to the earth. As we see, due to her arrival, everyone in the surrounding area witnessed a bright white light striking the earth, as the nearby emperor and his army, known as Lord Tenji, went there to investigate. As after arriving there, everyone was cautious to see a beautiful pale white woman that was standing in the center heart of the huge crater. As Tenji was brave enough to go and ask her if she was okay, and later on bring her in to his empire. As he did this kind gesture, soon they grew closer. But so did others grew envious, because she had such beauty and power that could heal and that could be useful in war. Even Tenji's own empire's people and generals began to go greedy, because they were burdening him to use her in the war. But Tenji fell in love with her, and so did Kaguya. As everything was going greatly, as Kaguya fell pregnant for the first time, as both of them had a child, and Tenji's mother named him Naruto because it kind of reminded her of her favorite food. And so Naruto Otsutski came into existence, the first prince of the empire. But the empire rejected him, saying that he was an outsider's son and they would not claim him as a prince. Tenji was already enraged, but his love for Kaguya never dwindled, neither for his son. As now we see, years begin to pass by as Naruto began to grow. His kindness won over some bit of people, but those were of the new generation, the kids of the previous general, who were warned to never get closer to him since he held no significance. But later on, that was proven wrong when Naruto again and again saved them in training as well as in actual battles, and became the beloved amongst the next generation. But that all changed when his siblings were born. They, for the first time, employed by the generals, were recognized as the princes. Both of them, Hagoromo and Homura, were recognized. They thought that this will rile up Naruto and he will make a mistake so bad that both of his parents will hate him, and he will be disqualified since he held no power similar to his mother. But unknown to them, the bond between their family was already stronger, and that is when they decided that it was time to change tactics, and they introduced a new woman to Tenji. Obviously, Tenji, being an emperor, took her in as a concubine, and that is when everything went to hell, as Kaguya began to be ignored, and soon Tenji changed sides and became their puppet completely, disregarding his son and his family as well. Kaguya had to be moved away from the empire into a hut, and that is when generals began to make their move. As Tenji sooner found out thanks to the concubine who couldn't hold it in, as Tenji made a charge towards there, but it was already too late. He witnessed his oldest son Naruto protecting Kaguya and the two young siblings by barrage of arrows as his body was pierced by them. As he with a smile looked at his mother and said, "Mother, please leave. No, my son, my child." As that is when Kaguya's true power is activated that she has been hiding. Veins begin to pop up near her eyes as she began to levitate. As now we see, she with a single push of her hands wiped out the whole army with a shockwave. As Tenji witnessed this, he realized that Kaguya has unleashed her godly power. As he tried to reason with her, but it was already too late. As Kaguya with her rage grabbed her, "It is because of you that my son has perished. You will pay for this, Tenji, you and your whole empire." As with that, there was a snap and Tenji was killed. What followed suit was a massacre of a whole empire that was regarded as the strongest in the whole world and wiped out completely. As there, Kaguya set it up, her own village later on, where she buried her oldest, Naruto, and Hagoromo and Homura were being taught by her. Now at this stage, Kaguya realized that humans are greedy and never trusted them because she lost her child, her beloved Naruto, to them. But thankfully enough, she was able to hold on to his soul thanks to her power. But she wished that there was a way to bring her back, and that is when she found out about the chakra fruit and the world tree. There was a hope. There was a way to bring her son back, and because of that she ventured down a darker path that would lead to a confrontation years later between her and her two youngest siblings. As now we see, years later, a war was going on between mother and two sons. "Mother, please stop this. Brother wouldn't have wanted this." "You don't dare say his name, and don't dare you mention him. I am doing this to bring him back. He sacrificed his life without a second thought to save you two, and this is how you repay him?" If it was up to us, we would die for him as well, but he died to give us a chance to live. He doesn't want this, Mother. He wouldn't have wanted us to fight. Silence! You don't know what he wanted. But I know what I do, and I want him to live amongst us. It already pains me every time when I ever close my eyes to see that. I see his bleeding face, and him tiredly smiling to ask me to live alongside you. And you're protecting them? These humans who took away your brother from us? I won't allow this, Homura. You will be punished alongside Hagoromo for this insolence. Mother, please. We have no other choice, Homura. We have to do this, said Hagoromo, as they used the sun and the moon seal to seal away Kaguya, but not before she unleashed her final weapon to destroy and folly the plans of her children, the Shinju, 10-tailed monster. Thankfully, somehow, by some miracle, and Hagoromo and Homura would dare even say by the help of spirit of their own brother, they were able to somehow defeat the Shinju and turn it into a Geromazo, while taking its chakra away, as Hagoromo became the Jinchuriki and made the 9 Bijus. As after that, things went quiet, as the rest of the chakra was distributed amongst the world, in hopes that there would be peace, because that is what his Nissan wanted. As long as they could remember, the oldest sibling, while they were young, wanted nothing other than peace, and everyone to just live peacefully, aside from the, follyful plans that they prepared. As now we see, Hagoromo would tell tales to the young Bijus about the older brother Naruto, and of his existence, as that is when, while looking inside his mother's room, we see he found something akin to a seal in which a bright light was sealed. And Hagoromo and Homura both instantly knew who it was. It is our brother's soul. I can't believe Mother is so cruel to trap him here for so long. What should we do, brother? Said Homura. What else? He has perished long ago. It is time for him to move on. I am so sorry, brother, that you have to go through this. As soon as the jar opened, the bright light disappeared after rotating around the room, as if saying thanks of a kin. But unknown to them, Kaguya was watching everything from the seal as she was enraged at her two younger children, and she, for the first time, had a thought to even rip them apart, literally, as that is when she felt the scent of her son and a warm embrace. Don't do this, mother. They freed me. I was feeling trapped there. As that is when realization dawned on her as tears welled up in her eyes and fell down. Don't worry, my son. I will find a way to bring you back. As Naruto with a sad expression looked at his mother, as Kaguya was still crying because of the heartbreak that she felt of losing her son due to her husband's employ. You don't have to worry about that, mother. I promise you we will meet again. As with these words said, Naruto's soul disappeared, but Kaguya took it the wrong way. What she shed next was not normal tears, but that of black. This was her will, her determination to bring back her son. And so Zetsu was created within the seal, who was freed. And later on, thanks to Homura's clan moving there, was able to locate a way down to the earth. And that is how he arrived there. And many things have changed already. Hagoromo, turns out, had made a clan, and he had two successors to it, Indra and Asura. Knowing that Asura used the jutsus more, he tried to corrupt him to use him in his own games to bring back his older brother and free his mother. These were the two goals that was needed to be performed. As now we see, everything went as in canon, as years later, after Hagoromo passed away, we see that both Indra and Asura fought, and from there on, the clan warring era began. Thousands of battles and thousands of years later, we see that the fighting still continued, but not in the form of clans battling against clans. It was now villages against villages. Clans banded together to form a village in the form of an alliance, and chose the strongest shinobi amongst them as their leader, and the leaders with their egos clashed with one another. Two of the world wars already occurred, and in the third war, when happened, a new shinobi emerged as the victorious one, and quite the strongest one as well. The Yellow Flash, Minato no Mikaze, and he was not the only one. Following her in the footsteps was Kushina Uzumaki, his girlfriend, and the second strongest Konoichi in the whole elemental nation, right after Tsunade Senju herself. As now we see, after the war was over, everyone was celebrating, as that is when Minato finally confessed and proposed to Kushina, and she happily agreed. As after being married, we see months passed as Minato became the Hokage, as Kushina became pregnant as well, while also being a Jinchuriki. Although she was happy, she was worried, as she relayed her worries to Minato. Minato, I am worried. What would happen if the Biju? Nothing would happen. We're gonna take measures that the Biju won't break free, and I will be nearby. I promise you that much, Kushina. I know, but still, I don't want anything to go wrong. As now we see, as this was going on, Zetsu, who was monitoring the Kyuubi's Jinchuriki and the other ones, noticed this and relayed this news to his new master, or his new puppet, Obito Uchiha, who became the masked person. I see. So in a few months we will begin our plan. Although the Kyuubi was supposed to be got lost, Obito, we will get it first and seal it away for the time being. We need the other 8. And after that, we will begin the Moon Eye plan. I know. But we also need to form a group, remember? That we will. I have already chosen the people that are suitable for our job that we require. We will talk about this later, Zetsu. For the meantime, monitor Kyuubi and Kyuubi alone. I see. I will do as you have told me. As now we see, months begin to pass by, as surprisingly enough, Kyuubi didn't act up like usually once in a month it would, as Kushina would be in pain usually once in a month, but this time around Kyuubi was acting quite silent. As Kushina became worried that it might have done something to Fetus, she got it checked again and again, but her paranoia didn't go away. as she entered her own mindscape to see that the Biju was behind bars this time around, in chains. And it was silent, not violently barking at her as she usually arrived as it would. Kyubi. Silence. Your fetus is resting. What? What do you mean by that? What have you done? Nothing, you stupid woman. I don't know why, but your child that is about to be born, he brings me calm for some reason. Calm? Yes, calm. I don't know how is this possible, but it is as if my anger itself is gone and I'm at peace, even in this state. Are you trying to play with me, Kyubi? If this is one of your plans to break free, I am not trying anything, Kushina. I am not trying to do anything. You can barely even sense my chakra. For the first time in thousands of years, I can finally say that I am at peace. And without any hatred, like I once was. And I have forgotten this feeling, so let me enjoy this and leave. I won't bother you. I promise you this much. I see. Trust me or not, Kushina, said Kyubi as Kushina turned to leave. But your child is special, and I wouldn't dare. I might even dare say not even the other Bijus would dare to harm him. Because he has a personality that brings peace to everyone. As with these words said, Kushina left the mindscape. As now we see, these words were kept secret between her and the Biju alone, as finally the date came, the October 10th. Everything was going great as Naruto was born, but soon after that, the boss person arrived and kidnapped Naruto, demanding Kushina. Kushina had to give herself up in order to save her son. So that is what she did. Minato took their son away, but he and the blanket from behind was laced with the explosive seals. Minato threw the blanket away and covered him with a new one as he arrived at the house that was meant to be their safe room. As soon after that, he sensed the Biju's chakra and arrived near Kushina. After retrieving her, we see that Minato left a clone to follow after the masked person, where he dashed towards as he arrived back and left Kushina near her son. As on the other side, we see the masked person was floating above Kyubi's head as the Kyubi was put under Genjutsu to attack Konoha. As soon as the attack began, we see that the people were running towards the shelters, while the shinobis as well as Hiruzen Sarutobi and the clan heads and the clans were moving towards the outer skirts to aid everyone in the battle, try to stop the Biju. As soon as they arrived, they noticed that Hiruzen-sama was the one taking the charge and Minato was absent from the battle, as only one question was in everyone's mind: where was him? As on the other side, there was a battle being continued on the other side of the village between the masked person and Minato himself. As things was going on, we see that Zetsu was ordered to kill the child because they knew about the secondary plan to make Naruto the Jinchuriki if anything goes wrong. But before he could, the moonlight glowed brighter as he heard a voice: "Do not harm that child, Zetsu." "But mother, he has the soul of your brother, Naruto." As these were the words alone enough to halt Zetsu in his place, as he looked with wide eyes towards his brother. "What? He has fulfilled his promise, it seems. He has come back to us, Zetsu. Leave him alone and only focus on me being back." "But mother, there might be another way. I know you will find it, my son. Now do as I say." As now we see Zetsu begin to leave and tell Obito after his arrival, throwing Minato away, that they have to leave. As for the job, it was not done, as Kushina was still okay somewhat and was able to deflect his attack, and they have to retreat for the time being. And seeing this, Obito knew they had no other choice, so that is what they did after taunting Minato. Minato, seeing that he has no other choice but to seal the Biju in Naruto, arrived at the safe house. As before he could leave, we see that Kushina then said, "Don't use the Hakai Fuyin. I have no other choice. Wait, if you find any opening and see that the Biju has somewhat calmed down," said Kushina because of their talk. Then you will use the same seal that was placed on me, Minato. You know it, right? I know it. The 8 pentagram seal that Mito-sama used on you. Naruto is a male, and he would have no trouble like me. I promise you this much. In this way you'll be able to survive as well. I'll be holding on my own. I have been using my healing chakra to heal my wounds. Kushina, I'll send in medics as fast as possible after this is done. Alright, I'm waiting for you. As now we see, Naruto and Minato arrived at the battlefield, where we see Minato prepared an altar as Hiruzen arrived. What the hell happened, Minato? I thought everything was going greatly. A masked person attacked, claiming to be Madara Uchiha, but he was not alone. Both of them deflected the village, and I don't know where they went. We have to do this. As soon as Naruto was placed there and his eyes opened to gaze towards the huge Biju, the Biju halted in its place for some reason. The Genjutsu was broken, as the Biju turned its attention towards Naruto, and with a low grumble just laid down next to him. As with a single opened eye that was looking tired, the Biju then spoke. Oi, Minato. What? As everyone flinched when they heard the Biju's voice. I am tired after that Genjutsu that Madara Uchiha placed on me. Madara? But that is not possible. Do you think I would lie? That Sharingan belongs to Madara. I have been put under control twice by now. I did not wish to harm any of you. It was against my will that I did. But I was able to fight it back somehow and break free from it. Do it. I will willingly become sealed inside this child. As seeing this, even Minato was surprised, but knowing that he had no other choice but now to seal the Biju inside his son, he did it. As Naruto became the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails now. As instead of the seal deep inside, Kushina had modified the seal so that the Kyuubi wouldn't be chained and not behind bars, but would be free inside an open mindscape. As Naruto's mindscape was so huge that it literally had mountains, grass, and waterfall, and even fresh breath of air, as Kurama felt at peace and was now resting there peacefully. I hope we can meet soon, kid. Until the time comes, I'll be watching over you. And that much I can promise. That nobody will be able to harm you. As now we see, everyone was shocked and surprised at what has happened, as Fugaku then arrived. It is not possible. What the Biju said. But Fugaku-sama, said one of the Uchihas, we did saw a pattern of Sharingan of a sword in its eyes, like it was put under a trance like Genjutsu. If this is true, then Madara really exists out there. If the Biju itself confirms it, and Minato-sama confirms it as well, that he claimed to be Madara. Now we have two witnesses. One who was the victim and one who fought with him. I was not even able to lay a single hit on him. That is Madara for you for sure. No one against him could compete aside from Hashirama Sensei. You were lucky to be able to be left alive. I don't know why, but he wanted the Biju, and he promised that he will come back for it. As this conversation was going on between the clan heads, previous Hokage and the current one, we see that Minato then said, "Oh no, Kushina," as he disappeared and arrived at the hospital, taking Kushina there and his child, as the doctors emerged immediately. As they were dealing with them, as Kushina was resting after that, telling the husband and Minato that everything was fine, we see that the moonlight shone brightly on Naruto and on Kushina as well, as if thanking the first human that blessed her with her son being back. But Kaguya knew that now this was not only her son, this was also Kushina's son, and she knew that Kushina's maternal instincts would kick in like hers if anything were to happen. So she told Zetsu what she was going to do. "Zetsu, my child." "Mother, what is it?" "I am going to merge with the previous Jinchuriki that you fought, the red-headed woman." "What?" "I want to be closer to my son, and this is the only seemingly fit way. I have enough chakra that I will be able to merge completely with her, and she will be able to use my powers, and we will become one. I know that she has strong maternal instincts like mine, and wouldn't even dare anyone lay a finger on him." "But mother, what is the purpose of the qubit, of the Akatsuki then? Nothing. You have to now kill that man and make sure that he doesn't harm Naruto ever again. And after that, return to me, my child, when the time is right. I will, mother. As now we see Kaguya opened her eyes, and in front of her, in the seal, in the moon, we see that stood both of her children's spirits. Mother, it's alright. I am still disappointed in you two that you chose to give them our power, and see what they have done. Today your older sibling who has been reincarnated would have died. I loved the three of you, but as a mother it is sometimes my responsibility to punish you. I never wanted to harm you. We know, mother, but you have changed a lot since the death of Nissan. We were afraid that... I see. So, I made it look like that I was going to harm you. I apologize, my younglings. I didn't wish for this to happen. I promise you that I will try my best to be a good mother this time. And maybe, if we have other children, you two can reincarnate and we can be a family again. As both Hagoromo and Homura smiled. Maybe, mother. We wish for sure, that is. As now we see, both of their spirits disappeared. As soon as they did, three figures appeared in front of her. Ishiki, Momoshiki, and Kishiki. Kaguya. What in the hell are you thinking? Said Momoshiki, her youngest brother, as Ishiki and Kishiki, who regarded them as prince and princess of the Otsutsuki clan, then asked, Kaguya-sama, are you sure about this? That world is my domain. Now, since it possesses my chakra, I do not wish for the three of you to interfere, please. I request you, Touch. We promise you we won't, sister. Good. I would hate to harm my family and the only loyal subjects that we have left, my people. As the three of them looked at her with shock. You really have changed, you know that, sister? This act that you held when we were younger, it really doesn't suit you. I'm not acting. I was told to act that way by our father. Because I was going to be the empress, as he called it. How foolish we were. Sister, are you telling me the truth? He saw you as a weakling, and if I have close into you, asked Kishiki, who is your subordinate and assistant, he would have killed you. As Momoshiki's eyes widened, and after looking towards Kishiki, who looked down, it confirmed. So you did this too. I did this to save you, and after finding the right time, I left. Ishiki knows. Yes, my liege, I know. Now three of you are free. Go and find your homes on your own, and instead of ruling over them, try to form a family of a sort and live peacefully away from the rest. I understood. If this is your order, I will fulfill. No, a request, my friend. You have helped me a lot in my early days, and even now, you visited me a lot. I knew you could free me in an instant, but I didn't want it to be freed, because I held it on to the hope that my son will return to me, and now that he has, I will not be separated from him. I see. Then we will leave and vow that we will not bother you or your domain. As after that, the three of them disappeared, as Momoshiki nodded before a hug and freeing his sister. This is the least I can do for what you have done for me. Even though it's still weird to believe that you would stand up for me against father, but I trust your words, sister, for our old time's sakes. Thank you, Momoshiki. As with these words, the three of them departed, as Kaguya now used her powers to disappear from that body and appear inside Kushina's, merging their souls together. As it took Kushina some days to get up, and once she did, her one eye was white like Byakugan, but a much more purer form of it before it turned back to her violet eyes. As now she was one, Kushina. As Kaguya and Kushina has become one, we see that both Kushina and Kaguya, while merging, had the knowledge about the child and everything in this world. As Etsu returned back to her, my child, you have returned to me. It is still weird to call you that, but I guess you are my son as well. Mother, so you two have. We have merged, that is for sure, but I do retain both memories of Kushina and Kaguya. Do not tell this to anyone. And as she went towards Naruto and picked her up and hugged him close, I will vow that nobody shall harm my son. As after that day, we see that the new Kushina acted a little bit weird, but Minato was able to win her over again. And this time, even Kaguya had to say that she, after thousands of years, fell in love again with this mortal again, who was seemingly much more kind, and even had cooked for her and never was going to betray her, even though he had power and was the kindest she has ever met. And as for Naruto, he grew up the same way as previously, but not under hardships, under the love of people. And as for Kurama, Naruto at the age of 4 talked to him and became best friends with him, and even called him Kurama on his own, saying that this name fitted him. And at that moment, Kurama knew that this really was someone from the past, and he could tell that something was wrong with Kushina. And once Kushina revealed everything to him, he was scared. And he was even more shocked when it was revealed that this was the same brother that his father lost that has been reincarnated, and that is why he felt at peace. And as for Naruto, his shinobi journey began as well. Since he was quite popular, he was friends with most of the clan head children and most of the civilians as well, having the largest fan following in the whole village. As now we see that Naruto, since he was in the academy, was seated right next to Sasuke, his best friend, and his twin sister Satsuki, who had a huge crush on him. And not only her, it was Ino Yamanaka who was sitting behind her, who also had a crush on him. And so did Hinata Yuga. And right sitting next to them was Sakura Haruno, who had a huge crush on Sasuke, as she was eating Sasuke's ears out, literally by talking and babbling. As Naruto then said, Sasuke, you look okay, buddy? I mean, you are... I am fine, Naruto. It's just that girl, why is she always bothering me? I think she likes you, that is for sure. You say that, but you forget to notice that there are some people who like you, really? What? Said Naruto, having a huge blush on his face as Kurama chuckled. Seriously? You wouldn't have noticed, Naruto. That is certainly interesting. Kurama, not you too. But is this for real? Like, someone really do like me? Ah, someone, he says. I'm not gonna spoil the surprise when he finds out. And neither will you, Uchiha, said Kurama, speaking through Naruto, as Sasuke, now being a friend to Kurama as well, then said, Fine, Kurama, I won't. As both of them had a smirk on their face. As now we see Shikamaru, who was also one of Naruto's closest friends alongside with Choji, sat next to them. As they were hearing this conversation, we see that Choji, as he was eating, stopped and said, Seriously, do you think that Naruto doesn't notice? Ah, this is such a drag. I wish he does. You're talking about Naruto. He can be kindest and densest at the same time, said Kiba, says the most dense student in the whole class, that is. As that is when Iruka came, as this is how, while laughing and having a good time, the years of the academy went by. And finally, now we see the graduation day came, as that day Naruto was made special breakfast by his mother, as his two youngest siblings who have been born now and were at the age of 4, both named as Menma and Saruto, both twins with red hair with yellow streaks in them, were born, as they also adored Naruto to an extent, who was their cool older brother and looked up at him, and Minato and Kushina were both proud of him and loved the whole family altogether. As Minato then said, Son, today's your graduation day, isn't it? Yeah. Nissan, you're gonna become a shinobi? That is so cool. I can't wait to become a shinobi as well. Now, you still have a long way to go, isn't that right, Minato? Said Kushina as she settled down. You're right about that, Kushina. They still have a long way to go. But, you know what? Said Naruto. If you want to become something else, you don't have to feel pressured to, follow in my footsteps or Kachan or Tochan's footstep. You can become your own person, and we'll still love you, right? As both of them chuckled and agreed, as both of the younger siblings pouted, saying that they also wanted to be cool like their brother. As for Kaguya, she was getting worried because she knew that Naruto will soon set a foot inside the shinobi world, and that is something that she dreaded because there was always someone better in skills out there, and knowing even if Naruto was under the protection of the Kyuubi no Yoko and has become somewhat of a prodigy of his own right, he will get in trouble. As now we see, as this was going on, unknown to them, an Eva shinobi was watching over all of this and was quite enraged. Sent here by Oniki himself and the council, he knew that he was here on a dreadful mission, and that was to kill the Hokage's family, because his own father and mother were lost in the war thanks to the Yellow Flash, or that is what he was fed by his Kage. As the night fell, as they went to sleep, after Naruto's graduation, we see that Naruto's youngest sibling's room had a little bit of movement. As Naruto woke up to drink some water, as he heard this while downstairs, he went in to check, as that is where he saw something that dreaded him. The window was opened, as he saw a dark figure taking both of them in a bag, as the bag was moving. As Naruto dashed after him, as he then said, "Kurama, would you help me out here?" As Kurama gave chakra to Naruto, strengthening his feet and strength as he dashed at blinding speeds, matching up the speed of the Jonin, as Naruto gave him an axe kick, sending him flying down. As now we see, the man has led him to a trap as his whole team waited for them. As Naruto freed the kids from the shadows, multiple projectiles were launched as Naruto, seeing that there was no other way, used his own body as a meat shield to protect them. As he was wounded greatly, we see that his youngest siblings were watching this. "No, brother!" As Naruto was on his knees, panting heavily. As that is when Kushina woke up, sensing something was wrong, as she flew into the air using Kaguya's power, as her Byakugan activated, that could see throughout miles. As noticing where Naruto and her youngest was, she witnessed something that terrified her to the bones. Something that resembled the past way too much. And that was the same way the previous incarnation of her son died. "No, I will not allow this to happen. I will protect my son, our son." As Kushina flew there, as using her same force field, wiped them out, except for the man that Naruto gave an axe kick. Picking him up, she used her powers to see who it was, as her rage even increased. Eva. As she turned towards her youngest ones, as Naruto, who was deeply in pain, she bent down and took out each and every kunai, as her eyes were covered by her own hair and shadow. Kachan, silence. I am mad at you, Naruto. How could you take this step on your own? You could have told us as well. I was running out of time. I saw the man leaving and I couldn't have, even if we could have found out. You could have sent it out a clone, you know how to, right? I forgot. I'm sorry, Kachan. As after doing that, she began to cast the healing jutsu. As Naruto looked down in shame as he looked towards his siblings who were crying, as they even have stopped, as they looked towards their mother who was crying the most. As Naruto turned and was shocked, Kachan, you don't have to cry. I'm okay, as you can see. Even if you are, I have failed you as a mother. I should have been here to protect you, and yet I wasn't. I'm not gonna lose you, any one of you again. As Minato alongside with the shinobis arrived and arrested the man who was there. As now we see, the Kage Summit was held, in which Kushina was brought along, as that is when all hell broke loose when Oniki denied everything and blamed everything on Minato. As Oniki was next thing he knew punched against the wall, and his neck was in chokehold by Kushina, as she then said, "You dare try to harm my family, Oniki. I will burn your whole village. Try it, you bitch. We burned down the whole Uzumaki's. What makes you think that that was enough?" As Oniki turned into a bloody smear then and there. As when Kushina turned towards everyone, they were shocked and surprised, as both of her eyes turned complete white with Byakugan. and her third eye opened, revealing her finished Sharingan. As Kushina's horn began to grow, as she, at that moment, went on a rampage, as the three of the siblings could sense it, and even Kurama could. Kurama, what is that? That is your mother, kid. Seemingly something made her angry and said that something has to do with the accident that happened. We have to go there to stop her. That is the only way. Nissan, what is going on? As now we see Naruto arrived at the doorsteps of Kakashi Hatake. As Kakashi not being home, he went towards his only hope, the Uchiha clan. Naruto, what are you doing here? I need to do something, and I was hoping that if Mikoto Obasan could look after my youngest siblings. It's urgent, please. Alright, come in. As after talking to Mikoto, Naruto, using Kurama's chakra, used the perfect KCM2 state as the age of 13 and arrived at Eva, seeing that it was already destroyed and demolished, and no one single soul was left alive. As he saw his mother flying over there and killing Kuratsuchi, the granddaughter of Onigi, and ending his bloodline. As Kushina turned towards him, she saw Biju. She used her own attack to throw Naruto away. Naruto, not being able to use his power or fight against his mother, was slammed against a tree as his bones were fractured. Seeing what she did, she arrived near him. Naruto, what are you doing here? Kajan, what are you doing? They were the people who wanted to harm you. I warned him that if he tries this again, but he continued to push on. And as Kushina's eyes widened, I lost control. As there were tears in her eyes, as even Minato and everyone else arrived there, as they were surprised to see what Kushina has done, as she has returned finally back to normal. As that is when Kushina decided it was time to reveal everything, and so she did. And after learning about everything that she has learned, they realized one thing. Minato has become the father of the sage of the sixth path and his siblings. And this child Naruto meant a lot to Kushina, who was one with Kaguya Otsutski, the rabbit goddess that they heard from the stories of the past, that she was the originator of chakra. As Minato himself was quite shocked, but he moved towards his family and said, next time, we'll tackle things together, okay? Both of you don't have to take on the rage and continue on a single-sided mission. I'm disappointed in you and a little bit mad and hurt, but I know why you did this. I would have went on the same rampage if it wasn't for you. If you would have continued talking, I would have declared war on Eva. What about the rest of you? Do you wish for war? No, we don't, Kaguya-sama. Good. Continue to watch over my son's children, the Bijus. They are precious to me. And make sure your own village prospers. There will be no more war. As long as me and my family exists, we won't allow it. And from then on, no war was allowed. As now we see, after 5 more years, as Naruto reached at the age of 18, everyone was finally able to achieve peace, and Eva was completely wiped out like a bad memory of the past. Taking its place as the lowest village was now Takigakure, who also held the Jinchuriki, and he did the warning of one Kaguya Otsutski and realized that they were mistreating Fu and pushing her outside because of their own fear, as now even Fu was happy. And as for Naruto, he was still somewhat dense, as now in their teens, Ino, Hinata, as well as Satsuki tried their best to tell him that they loved him, but they failed to do so. One day, Kushina noticed this and brought the 3 girls home to talk. You know, I will allow the 3 of you to marry him, but knowing my son, he already knows and is acting as tense. What? Oh, what makes you say that? Come out, Naruto. I know you're listening into this. As Naruto face faulted down to the ground and was blushing piping red. Sasuke told me about this. I just didn't want to break anyone's heart by choosing the other. As the 3 of them finally looked at him with great anger and bonked him on the head as he asked for help from his mother to save him. But Kaguya did the most mother thing possible. You deserve it. You hurt it and harmed the young lady's hearts. So, you kind of deserve this beating, Naruto. And as for his siblings who have now become Ganins in their own right, watching this, they vowed, yeah, we're not gonna have any girlfriend. Not for a long time. Isn't that right, Saruto? You're right about that, Menma. But unfortunately for them, they did not knew that there were two girls who already had their eyes set on them. Poor souls. As this was now the life of Naruto, a peaceful, happy life. And the Otsutsuki siblings and their mother, they were reborn again into a happy, loving family. A full cycle being complete. Tenji's mistakes were rectified by Minato, becoming the best husband and the best father. And this time around, Kaguya became the best mother to the three of them. As this is where I'm going to be leaving the story of, guys. As I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. As this is Apollo Uchiha, and I'm signing off for the day. Peace.